Hello, this is Tony Rowland again, and welcome back to A Higher Calling. And tonight will be episode number 40, and the title of it will be The Flesh versus the Spirit. And I'm only going to do one chapter tonight because we've been doing so many and it's been so long, so I'm going to try to get to what I want to get to you tonight. But we're going to start out again with Matthew chapter 26, 36 through 46 out of the NLT. Okay, and again, we're going to read this chapter line per line. And before I begin this, many of you have heard this chapter and verse preached your entire life. You should have. Many of you that are tracking along with me. But I'm going to explain to you exactly what I have been talking about and how this verse should be actually applied to you. That is the most important thing. So I'm going to begin. All right. And I'm going to take some breaks, some pause breaks in between the scriptures to kind of explain. Because, see, none of this was explained to me. And I bet for a lot of you, none of it was explained to you. Or if it was explained, you did not know how it applied to you. Okay? So it says, Jesus then went with them to the olive grove called Gethsemane. And he said, "Sit here while I go there to pray." He took Peter and Zebedee's two sons, James and John, and he became anguished and distressed. He told them, "My soul is crushed with grief to a point of death. Stay here and keep watch of me." Now, okay, he said his soul. Okay, that's his own feel, taste, touch, think, and see. Okay, his soul, his own personal self. Okay, so. And then he went on to say, he says, he went on a little farther and he bowed with his face to the ground praying, "My Father, is it possible? Let this cup of sufferings be taken away from me, yet I want your will to be done, not mine." Okay, here we go again. The Lord is talking about, Jesus Christ is talking about God's will, the God upstairs, Jehovah Nissi. That's what he's talking about. He says, let his will be done, not his will. It says again, it says, "Yet I want your will to be we're going on to verse 40. He says, "Then he returned to the disciples and found them asleep." Now, what most of you don't know, and I didn't know, is that was a commandment. He is commanding them. He said, "Can you stay up and pray with me?" Okay? Can you stay and pray with me? That's what he said. All right, I'm going to read on. He says, "Then he returned to his disciples and found them asleep. He said to Peter, 'Couldn't you watch with me for even 1 hour?'" Do you know what that 1 hour means? That 1 hour means is that he was telling them that they needed to pray for 1 hour. Okay, for 1 hour. And they were on their knees in the early mornings. All of this was in the early mornings. Okay? He says, but again, he says, then he returned to the disciples, verse 40, and found them asleep. He said to Peter, "Could you watch with me for even 1 hour? Keep watch and pray so that you will not give in to temptation." What temptation is he talking about? Okay? What temptations? The temptation he's talking about is that he was being assaulted. You are being assaulted. The disciples were being assaulted. Okay? The temptation. Okay? Now I have to keep going. "For the spirit is willing, but the body is weak." In a lot of translations, like the King James Version, it says the flesh is weak, but the spirit is willing. That means that you have another faculty within you that must control you. Your spirit must control you. It says the spirit is willing, but the body is weak, or the flesh is weak. In the King James translation again, it says the flesh is weak. Okay, I'm keep moving. It says, "Then Jesus left them a second time and prayed, 'My Father, If this cup cannot be taken away from me unless I drink it, your will be done. Okay? Now he's telling them, he's saying again, his flesh does not want to do this. Okay? It does not want to do this. But his spirit is telling him that he must do this. He must be crucified. Okay? All right, then I'm going on to 43. He says, when he returned to them again, he found them sleeping, and for they couldn't keep their eyes open. Again, I am circling down on this again, doubling again down on this again, tripling. Okay, the Lord. This is a commandment. It was commanded. Okay, you say that. How does this apply to me? You are a disciple of Christ, whether you want to believe it or not. You are a disciple. You are a Christ follower. And this is a command for everyone, not just the disciples. But most don't know this. I didn't know it. This all had to be revealed to me. Okay? Then he said, so he went to pray a third time. He said, saying to the same thing again. Then he came to the disciples and said, go ahead and sleep. Have your rest. But look, the time has come. The Son of Man is betrayed into the hands of sinners. Up, let's be going. Look, my betrayer is here. Now, people, brothers and sisters that are tracking along with me, there is a class of Christians all over the world. Well, actually, there is a remnant of people, including Muslims, including people in Hinduism, including all people all over the world, are being awakened between the hours of 2, 3, 4, and 5 in early mornings. And they're doing everything but the other. They don't know that it's Jesus Christ that is calling them to early morning prayer. Many of you, like myself, I was waking between the hours of 2. This is a very deep secret. I'm telling you now. Okay, there are a lot of people that are taking Ambien. They're taking Linestra. They're taking Zonata. These are drugs, sleep meds. Okay, they're taking these, trying to sleep. They're being awakened in the early morning, but they don't know what it's doing. So they're going to their psychologists. They're going to their neurologists. They're going to their doctors, and the doctors are prescribing them things like Linestra, things like Zonota, things like Ambien. And it's not helping them. They are still awakening between those hours. Some people don't even sleep at all during the night, and they don't know what's wrong. Michael Jackson, our pop singer, one of the greatest pop singers around, was awakened between the hours of 2, 3, 4, 5 in the early mornings. I was also awakened 2 o'clock, 2:05 on the dot every morning. When I was a young man, I did not know what it was. Could it be that this is where the Lord has been calling people to early morning prayer and they don't know it? Because it's in code. It's this whole chapter is in a cryptogram. Could it be that you are being targeted? Have you ever thought about that? All I can tell you is through my experience, once I began to pray, I did not pray just in my bed. I'm always on my knees, and I'll start washing my face before I begin to pray. And Muslims do this too. They wash their face, but they don't. In Christianity, there is a purification process, and I'm going to talk to you about that kind of thing. What purification really is. How purification is supposed to work on the inside of your body. When you are cleansed. Remember when it talks in the Bible, it talks about that I'm whiter than snow. Have you ever heard that? Whiter than snow means being cleansed on the inside. That is a physical manifestation, and it's miraculous, and it can take place in you. I am telling you, people, you are missing out. Many people do not know what's going on in the church. They're going to the ministers. The ministers don't know what's happening. No, he can't know what's happening. He can't go into deep detail. And I'm only skimming the surface right now. If you want more about what I'm talking about, it's in my first book. I talk about this in my first and second book. Silent Cries in the Night, Untold Stories from the Edge. All of this. And what you will experience as a result of meeting the Lord at his time. Not your time, at his time. Early morning prayer. You will feel much, much, much better. Come into thee, all who are heavily laden, and I will give you rest. That is a cryptogram. People don't know exactly what that means. He will give you rest as a result of this prayer life. That's where your prayer, your body needs the food. You feed your body food. You need to feed your spirit food. Now, that is all I have to say today. That's all I want to give you, because this is a big one. And a lot of you missed this right here. You missed it. If you missed these points, these few points that I'm telling you right here, game out, game over. You are defeated. Don't even know it. So, I conclude. If you like this podcast, you click like, subscribe, and share with your friends. And I will see you on next Friday.